Hi everybody, it's Kelly Hashway, and today I want to share with you this gorgeous ARC that arrived in my mailbox yesterday for The Monster Within. You might notice it looks a little smaller than the Touch of Death books because it is. It also has a matte finish, which makes it really soft, and I keep petting it for that reason. But there's the gorgeous cover. I know it's backwards in your view. And the back. And the other really cool thing about this book is that each chapter has a mask at the start of it, and they're all different, so that's pretty neat that every time you get to a new chapter you get to check out a new mask. So I want to read the beginning of it to you so that way you can kind of get a little glimpse of Sam and Ethan and what their story is about. So here we go. My life began again the second I pulled myself out of my grave and looked into his beautiful blue eyes. This was my second chance, and he was the one who had given it to me. I wasn't sure if I was a living being in the traditional sense. What did you call someone who came back from the dead? A zombie? Undead? I wasn't happy with either term. I certainly didn't feel like a zombie. I still had all of my own thoughts and memories. It was nothing like I imagined it would be. Sam. My name was barely a whisper on Ethan's lips. Even in the dim lights of the cemetery, I could see his eyes watering at the sight of me. It worked. You're you again. I looked down at my body, inspecting every limb. I was wearing a black dress, Mom's favorite, so I understood why she had me buried in it. I stared at my casket, unable to get over the fact that I'd been dead. I raised my eyes to Ethan. How did you do it? It doesn't matter. All that matters is you're here. He stepped forward and pulled me close to him, running his fingers through my long dark hair. I rested my cheek on his chest, wondering what lengths he had gone to in order to bring me back. Before I died, Ethan said he'd find a way for us to be together again. That he refused to lose me so soon. I shrugged them off as the desperate words of a guy watching his 17-year-old girlfriend die of cancer. He'd been so amazing through all of it. He'd never left my bedside, and I remembered he'd been holding my hand when I took my last breath. I tilted my head back to look at his tear-streaked face. I have to know how you did it. Shh, he said softly. I found someone who could help me, who knew what to do. Besides that, there's nothing you need to know. He was keeping something from me, and that could only mean he'd done something big enough that I would get upset if he told me. Still, being in his arms again was heaven. He had given me the gift of life. How could I question that? How do you feel? He held me by my shoulders and looked back and forth between my eyes. You look like you. Everything seem okay? Yeah, I feel like me, not like a zombie or anything. He squeezed my shoulders. You're not. You're you, I promise. I made sure of it. But he raised a finger to my lips. We have to go. We can't stay here where someone might see you. I hadn't thought about that. To everyone else, I was dead. My parents, my brother Jacob, my friends, they all thought I was dead. If I waltzed back into my old life, they'd think they were seeing a ghost. That or they'd have me turned into a lab rat to figure out how I'd come back to life. Even I didn't have an answer to that. Only Ethan did. And what if they figured out he was responsible for me being alive again? What if they locked him up for messing with the laws of nature? Where are we going? I was suddenly determined to leave as soon as possible. My cousin has a little cottage in the Poconos. He never uses it. It's not in the best shape, but we'll be okay there. Ethan let go of me long enough to close my casket and grab a shovel. I have to get this back the way it was. No one can suspect your body isn't inside this grave. How long was I gone? I had no sense of time, but the flowers on my grave were fresh, so I was guessing only a matter of days. 4 days. The 4 longest days of my life. He dropped the shovel and wrapped his arms around me again. I breathed in his scent, not even caring that he smelled mostly of dirt and sweat from digging up my casket. Besides, I couldn't smell much better. Nobody ever made a perfume in dirt-covered corpse scent. I'll help you cover the grave again. No. He let go of me and picked up the shovel. You've been through enough. I'll do it. Go wait in the car. I can't risk anyone seeing you. If Ethan got caught shoveling dirt back onto my grave, he'd be in serious trouble. But he was right. If he got caught and I was standing there with him, we'd both be totally screwed. I nodded and walked to his red Mazda 6. I had always loved his car. He used to take me for long drives down back roads where we could pretend we were the only people in the world and there was no such thing as being terminally ill at 17. I watched Ethan shovel dirt back onto my grave, and it was surreal. I couldn't get past the feeling that I didn't belong here. I'd been dealt my hand, and yes, it sucked, but that should have been the end of it. I should have been in the ground or in the afterlife. Ethan walked back to the car, wiping his forehead with his sleeve. He threw the shovel in the trunk and got in the car in a hurry. Ready? He asked, out of breath. Was I? I wasn't sure, but I had to at least pretend for Ethan's sake. Whatever he'd done, it was huge. I owed him my life. So there's the opening of The Monster Within, and I hope that you will check it out on June 17th when it comes out. Thanks for sharing my moment with me. Bye.